And so when we're in a forest, when we're in nature and walking and feeling the trees and feeling the wind, can we actually communicate with nature? Can we get some of our answers from nature? How can we get some answers from our soul? Can we just say to the trees, please, help me? Or can we
So
communicate? How do you do in nature when you walk?
the communication with nature is not intellectual communication. It's not verbal communication.
Mm,
You don't communicate in English or French or in words.
mm,
You communicate with nature with
mm,
spirit, through feeling, through your heart. And when you become a pilgrim and when you respect nature and when you revere nature and you know that nature is sacred, then you can communicate without words. You can communicate in meditation.
mm,
And this is why nature meditation is important. Walking in nature is important. When you are walking in nature, you can learn from nature. Nature is your greatest teacher. My mother used to say that nature is even a greater teacher than the Buddha. Because even the Buddha learned his wisdom, his spirituality, his idea of interdependence by and while sitting under a tree. When he was sitting under a tree, he saw the miracle and the magic and the mystery of nature. And everything is interdependent, interconnected, interrelated. That realization came to him not by reading books, not by listening to some great teacher, but by observing nature. So you can communicate with nature, you can be one with nature, you can talk to nature, but not in English or French or Sanskrit or German, but you communicate through your heart, through your spirit, through your imagination, and through your creativity.
mm. So how would you walk actually in nature? You would just take your time and you would just walk and breathe deeply, or just how are you
Yeah.
being in nature?
You walk without any plans. You walk without any destination. You are not going anywhere.
Mm,
You are wherever you are.
mm,
Every step you put down should be a conscious step, a
mm,
mindful step, where you are walking mindfully and you are aware and conscious of the presence of nature and your presence and your relationship, your interconnectedness. Then you are doing walking meditation and you are meditating on nature. And when you are in that full presence of mind, totally mindful, then you are able to communicate deeply with nature.
mm. And again, you communicate through feelings and just being. So you actually don't ask questions, but you're being in the now, and then it comes to you without really asking anything, or just the most simple thing of being and really present just allows some answers that you have not even asked to be answered.
Yes, the answers emerge. Answers are not given to you in words. Answers are an emergent property. When you observe nature deeply, regularly, mindfully, day after day, you begin to understand nature. And then you begin to communicate with nature. And then nature starts to give you the answers. So answers are emerging. It's not something like you look in a kind of encyclopedia or Wikipedia and find your answer in a kind of written way. Nature's answers are more like I Ching answers. They are a kind of ambiguity. There's a kind of vagueness. There's a kind of mystery, and you have to make those understanding understand those answers. So nature has the answers, but we have to understand them. And those answers have to be understood in a very kind of imaginative way. It's not a kind of literal answer.
Because I was walking this morning in nature. I have a big forest here, so for 2 hours I was walking, and I saw two different paths. And one of them, a tree was blocking it, and clearly, like, the nature, I felt, was giving me a message of, you can always choose your path in life. Would that be
Yes,
the
absolutely.
kind of wisdom that you can receive from nature?
Absolutely. I mean, like you did, I was walking this morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 1 hour, along the coast, by the sea, along the trees, in the woods, and I found that experience of being in nature so fulfilling, so joyful, so relaxing, and so uplifting. And that is the answer. That when you can relax, you are enlightened. And that's the answer. The trees are the answer. The nature gives you the answer. You have to suspend your questions and just understand the answers. And the answers are all there in nature. If we can live in harmony with nature, nature will look after us. But if we say nature is not good enough, so we try to manipulate nature, we try to genetically engineer seeds, we try to create artificial life. That means we don't respect nature. We think that nature is not good enough. Nature hasn't got enough intelligence. So we have to manipulate and create new seeds, genetically engineered seeds, or a kind of genome, or all these sort of technological solutions that we try to create. That is our human arrogance. We think human beings are more intelligent. We think human beings are superior to nature. Nature is not out there. But nature is not out there. Nature is here. We are nature. Nature is not just trees and mountains and forests and animals. We are nature.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I was going to ask you, how do you do when you, for example, I have quite a lot of viewers that live in India or in Egypt, like Cairo, huge cities, there's not much green, there's no forest, so how do we communion with nature when there is only buildings around us?
So, first of all, we have to redesign our cities. Even cities like London and Paris and Tokyo and Mumbai and New York and big, big cities, we have to redesign, and we have to bring nature and culture together. And houses should be surrounded by trees. And even if you have parks or gardens or some kind of natural canals or rivers in the cities, everybody must spend at least half an hour to 1 hour going in nature and walking in nature. Then our health will be healthier, our mind will be stronger, our spirit will be stronger, our heart will be better, and we will be happy. So even if you live in the cities, we have to go out in nature. If you are working 5 days a week, make it 4 days a week, and 1 day in nature, and 4 days in the office. So where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want to be in nature, you will find a way, you will find a place where you can be in nature. But at the moment we think, oh, it's not necessary. I just sit in front of a computer, or I just sit in front of my television and just sit in the house. I want to be warm. We have too much fear of nature. We have to reduce or remove fear of nature. We are afraid of rain, we are afraid of snow, we are afraid of cold, we are afraid of everything. So this fear is no good. We have to bring our children to love nature, and we have to bring nature into our schools. Our schools should not be just concrete buildings. Every school must have a garden, and every school must be surrounded by trees. And when the school is in the forest and forest is in the school, then you can have children growing without fear of nature. And that way we can be in nature and we can be happy, because nature is the true wealth. Nature is the true source of enjoyment and true source of happiness. And we think we can have money, we can have gadgets, and we'll be happy. We'll never be happy with just money and gadgets. We'll be happy when we are relaxed in nature, meditating in nature, walking in nature.
I love your passion. I love your passion. You are so great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I think really your message will clearly be heard here, and whoever is going to watch this video will truly feel your passion and hear that truth, because it does feel right in our souls.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time, and
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Bye-bye.
meet